Today in the studio, folks, I have her via Zoom, Natasha Grano. What's happening, Natasha?
What's up, Brad? I'm so excited to be here. This has got to be one of my favorite podcasts in the world. And yeah, thank you for having me.
Man, thanks for coming. Thanks for, I know you tried to be here, but they wouldn't let you in or something like that, some sort of COVID nonsense.
Such shy. I'm like 2 hours over the border. I'm literally in Vancouver. I can get there so easy, but we'll be there soon. We'll be there soon.
Well, I don't think you have to bullshit me. Based on your background, I don't think you're really unpleased of being here versus there.
Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. This is definitely a change from London. Although today it's just not shining as bright as it does outside, but that's okay because we're shining bright inside the house. So you can see a little bit outside of my ocean behind me.
If you guys are listening on audio apps, go ahead and go to YouTube, go to bradlee.tv, and you can check out where she's sitting. It looks like you're freaking sitting in the most gorgeous place on earth. Where is that?
So this is Vancouver. We're North Vancouver, to be precise. Just moved here recently, so I'm splitting my time between here and London, and it's magical. To be honest, the energy here is divine. I love being in nature. I've never had so many trees around me, and I love that. I think that breathing fresh air every day and not the pollution of the city, it's nice to break up the year, spend some time in nature, and then get back in. And yeah, I'm grateful for that.
If you guys don't know who I'm talking to, it's on Instagram, social media, most social media, at Natasha Grano, Grano, but now Graziano. But you can find her at Natasha Grano. And she's basically I would say, global influencer. You got millions of followers on social media. You're a thought leader. You're a coach. You help people with law of attraction. She's got her own podcast called The Law of Attraction. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're major on Clubhouse. Clubhouse, you're like a freaking rock star. She's got a book out called The Action Plan. And she does help a lot of people figure out this social media game, how to get 1 million followers, Instagram courses, and a course on Action Plan. What's the Action Plan about?
The Action Plan is my first book, and I wrote this as a very quick read for people who want to learn how to implement, and I'll use this term lightly and go into it, the law of attraction in under an hour. You see, the law of attraction has got a lot of woo-woo attached to it. So I try and break that down, hence the name, the action plan, into actionable steps towards your goals and achieving them faster, and how to attract the things you want by taking action and not just sitting back and saying, I'm feeling really positive today and I'm going to attract it. I showed them how to actually take initiative, take steps, wake up every day and just ask the universe to take me towards my assignment. What is my assignment for today? What am I meant to be doing in the world today? Show me events, people, and opportunities and places that will take me even closer towards that which I want to achieve in the world. So that's what the book is about. And it's based around nothing really to do with me. It's just everything I've been through and the things that helped me with practical, tactical steps on how they can do it. So yeah, that's the book.
Damn, I want to go get the book. Do you got it in Audible?
Yeah, no, Audible, no, but I should have my own voice on that.
100%. 100%, especially with that accent.
Yes, my British accent.
Well, let's do a little mini workshop for the listeners, because I, for one, definitely believe in law of attraction. I think, being a high school dropout, ultimately doomed for failure, ended up doing pretty well. I think law of attraction has been a big part of it. You ever heard of a book called Science of Getting Rich?
Yep, by Napoleon Hill, right?
No, Wallace Wattles.
Sorry, Wallace D. Wattles. Yeah, I get confused. I've actually got it here. It's the little thin white one. It's phenomenal. You've read it too? Yes,
I read that a long time ago, and started practicing some of the implementation there. What I learned over the years is it's not really just thinking about shit. Like Think and Grow Rich is good, but I don't think it's just about thinking. I think it's about feeling, seeing, believing, and almost like that's what draws it in. What are your thoughts? How can somebody attract shit that they want into their life?
Love that question, Brad. And you are exactly an example of somebody who is just living and breathing what they want through things that they did in their mind, and they created it in their mind first. You're somebody who just said, I can have, be, and do anything I want. So you're a great example. So how does someone else who is looking to shift their life attract something they want to attract it now? Well, the very first place to look is your mindset. 80% of it is in the mindset and 20% of it is in the action. So if you get your mind right, if you actually believe you are worthy of something, then you start having the feelings towards it. And then you align all of this. Your heart and brain is in coherence, okay? It's like a magnetic field around you. Then surely you will take the action towards it, because you'll be inspired to take action towards the thing you want, and it will come into fruition. The law of attraction is based around the idea of like attracts like. You are a magnet to what you want to attract. So if you're thinking positively, if you're feeling good, you can have a great day. So when you go out in the world and you're like, oh my God, someone's come up to me today and I feel so shit. Like this person's come up and I'm taking it out on them. Okay. You take it out on them, you have a bad day. I'll give you an example of something that happened to me. This is really interesting. So my son's passport was meant to arrive. Okay. It was meant to arrive for like 2-3 months. The worst thing was it was meant to be in 24 hours. I did a 24-hour passport delivery service. Didn't work. And anyway, it got lost in the post. And the problem was it was getting lost between the delivery and the office. Anyway, I got on the phone, eventually after this period, I got quite upset and heated and I lost my cool. And that's actually someone that I'm not. So I'd kind of had an out of body and spoke to this person in a bad way, to the point they just put the phone down on me. And even my husband said to me, oh no, I definitely would have hung up on you too. And I was like that bad? So anyway, I called back and sorted it out. However, the point of me telling you this, I then blew out this girl's flame. It's like a candle. I call it my candle effect. I then did this, blew out her flame. She then went home and blew out somebody else's flame. And then he went home and blew out someone else's flame. And they all blew out each other's flames. So this is like the butterfly effect across the world. You have a choice every day of whether you are going to light somebody's candle, whether you're going to blow it out. So every day you have a choice. And if I blow somebody's candle out, I've ruined millions of people's days effectively. However, every day you have a chance. You have a choice. Are you going to light somebody's candle? Are you going to make somebody's day? Do a kind gesture for somebody else. Do something that serves someone, and then they will feel amazing. And your light is so powerful. Nobody can take that from you. And you are lighting people up as you go. You're lighting their candle, and they're lighting somebody else's candle, and they're lighting somebody else's candle. And it goes on and on. The butterfly effect, right? So I call that my candle effect. So you have a choice, like I did that day. Now I ruined her day. And also, by the way, I didn't get the passport. But when the next day I then made up for it with a phone call saying sorry for that awful, temper tantrum I had there. It wasn't that bad, but it was just out of character. Then I realized, let me switch what I'm doing right here. So I started giving gratitude in the moment. Like, I am so grateful now that I have this, that I have that, everything that I was grateful for right there and then. And I would start counting it. And you know what happened? I got into a flow and I was like going around my house. I put the music on and I was feeling good. I raised my vibration. When you raise your vibration, you literally emit a radio wave around you of a different magnetic field. I was feeling good. And you know what happened? The doorbell rang. And I run to the door and I'm like, what's going on? And I run to the door and I open it, and guess who's standing there? The delivery man with the passport. We're flying that day. That day, it was 9 a.m. We're leaving at 2. So we got to leave any minute for the airport. I was like, thank you so much. He nearly didn't come. We didn't know what would happen. We'd had like backup plans. It was just horrendous. And here we are now in Vancouver. But my point is, I shifted that. I could have gone into a downward spiral with that. I could have had a bad day from it. I could have created mayhem from it and kept attracting more and more stuff where the passport wasn't going to show up. They even told me, on the phone. That's why it got so heated. The lady was like, there's nothing I can do. And you can't order a new one because the system doesn't have it down as lost. It's not lost. And I said, this is Groundhog Day. It's going backwards. It was the delivery service fault. Anyway, that aside, I'm so grateful that next day I start giving thanks. The passport arrives. Do you understand? You can shift your reality. That was a small thing. I'm just giving you an example of. So, Brad, I went on a bit there, man, but that is the law of attraction in action.
Yeah, but how do you know if you would have had a shitty day, it wouldn't have still arrived?
Because when you have a shitty day, and there's so many times when you have a shitty day, I mean, think of it, like when you have a bad day, how many other bad things start happening in that day? Most of the time, you're attracting more of that shite stuff to you. Sometimes negative and positive, like a magnet, can attract. But that does not mean go and get in a bad mood to attract stuff. But every time a bad mood comes up, right? Every time you start feeling bad, you just got to look at this mood and you got to look at it and you got to say to it, ciao, like, fuck off. Get the fuck out my face, mood. You are not going to control me today, because if you control me, my emotion is going to be so negative. I'm going to be in a bad place. I'm not going to have clarity of thought. And now, like attracts like. Do you want me to give you some science on the law of attraction?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. So when you are thinking of something, right, when you're focusing on something, there's a little bit in our brain called the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system filters 2 million bits of data every second. So when it's filtering things like colors and sounds and things that you see all around you, how does it work for you or against you? This is the most beautiful part of the brain. I love it. I study it. I geek out on neuroscience, and my method is based around neuroscience. It's rooted in it. So the reticular activating system shows you around you things that you deem as important. And you're like, well, what do I deem as important? Anything you focus your mind on. So if you are focusing your mind on, I feel I'm worthy of money. I feel money doesn't like me. I feel too fat, too thin, all these negative things, then your reticular activating system will continue to show you evidence around you to prove your belief system is real. Mm-hmm. But if you switch it and then you think about something positive, you switch your belief system to, even if you're faking it, by the way, and there's a great quote in my book, or maybe my next book, and it says, be it until you become it. So fake it till you make it, but in my own way, because I don't believe in faking it. I believe being it, right, until you become it. But check this out. You now change your belief system to, I am worthy of financial abundance. I'm worthy of 10xing my income right now. I'm worthy of being loved, whatever it might be that you want to achieve. And now your reticular activating system shows you evidence to prove your belief system is real, because that's what you're focusing your mind on. It's the coolest part of our brain. We can control our reality around us. And it all starts in this little guy up here.
You're very enthusiastic. I love it. I love it.
I think it's just born and bred motivational speaker. Like, I literally have never been able to get away from it. I feel bad for my friends, like when you have people around you and you're sitting in like a dinner party, and even when you meet strangers and they're like, and they go into something and I'm like, don't worry, man, this is what you got to do. This is what, I just thought, oh God.
Well, I know for a fact that it works. Now, again, I listen to people talking their shit, talking about, well, like, for example, your passport story. There's going to be a lot of listeners going, dude, you could have woke up any way at all and the thing still would have came. Your good mood didn't make it arrive. Now, here's what I say to them. Possibly, that may be possibly true, but if you ever heard Kanye West say, everybody wanted to know what would happen if I didn't win, well, I guess we'll never know. Which is, guess what, folks? You may be right. Maybe that passport still would have showed up regardless of her attitude, but the whole morning and the whole day and everyone around her were in a positive mood. And it to me is the hedging of the bet, meaning you can walk around pessimistic and I guarantee you more shit will happen that's worthy of being pessimistic. You can walk around positive and more positive shit happens. I'm a freaking magnet for that. Like, I wake up every morning, Natasha, and the first thing I do when I open my eyes is realize that I just did something that I believe is worth more than $10 million. So like if I said to you, I'll give you 10 million cash, but you can't wake up, you're going to be like, well, of course not. So that means waking up is worth more than $10 million. And it probably is for most people. So my question would be, if I just handed you $1 million, just $1 million, you would be so excited and so enthusiastic and no one could rain on your parade and you would feel what you just described. You would feel it, right? By being handed this cash, but yet we wake up in the morning and don't have that same gratitude, that same enthusiasm. And I think literally if people could just realize they should be that grateful the second they wake up, it shifts your mind to that positive, or I call it a perspective. It shifts your mind and puts you in a perspective of optimism, a perspective of gratitude. And then the littlest problems start happening and you're not even fazed by it, which causes the brain to not focus on the negative shit. You're focusing on the positive shit. I wake up in the morning. Sometimes there's problems from the day before. I wake up. First thing I do is just, oh my God, thank God. And I really am excited. And I just jump out of bed. People are like, they climb out of bed. Their morning's got to get going. Shit, dude, as soon as my eyes open and I realize I get another day, dude, I'm fired up. I'm ready to tackle the day. Little problems become challenges, games, puzzles. I start looking for shit. It's unbelievable. And I'm telling you, if everybody listening just understood that the fact that you woke up is worth more to you than $1 million if you just acted as if you received the $1 million and got that enthusiasm, you'll receive $1 million. Why is that? I don't know. I'm blaming law of attraction. So whether that passport would have showed up or not is irrelevant. The fact that you're fucking walking around in a good mood all day, that's winning, right? Because, dude, nobody needs a view like you got, even though everybody wants one. But guess what, dude? I don't give a shit if you wake up in a little shithole with your car getting repoed and you can't pay rent. Dude, be enthusiastic and positive and optimistic and grateful that you've got the opportunity. Number one. Number two, I believe anyway, a lot of challenges happen to people because I think the universe weeds out the undeserving with frickin' problems and challenges. Like, I'm going to throw problems and challenges your way so you can prove yourself deserving of success. And there's so many people that give up at the first sign of frickin' problems. It's unbelievable. But let's go back to law of attraction. So if somebody's sitting there, someone pulled over the car, someone's sitting there watching this in their bedroom, because a lot of people put it up on their screens and watch it from YouTube. Step one, I want to change my mindset, Natasha, and I'm looking for you to give me the answers today on frickin' dropping bombs. I want to change my mindset. I'm pen in hand, waiting for the answer. What's step one? Step one is mindset. Step two is skill set. Step three is environment. I like those, but let's go back to mindset. How, if I've got a pissy attitude, how do I change it? What are the steps I can take or the things I can do to start changing that mindset? So the first thing you do is you do something like this. You press play and you listen to the podcast. Do you know why? Because when you listen to a podcast, when you read a book, when you indulge in that time with one person, you are being one-to-one mentored by that person, by that author, for the duration of the time that you listen to the podcast, for the duration of the time that you read that book. And how much is that worth? They might charge millions for their time. They may be dead. There might be an author you wish you've met. This is gold dust. By upgrading your mindset, you are installing a new mindset. You are installing a new mindset. You know how incredible that is? You can literally rewire your brain so that you can attract a different outcome. There's a quote in my book and it says, your outer reality is a direct reflection of your inner self beliefs. So if you decide today, you know what, nothing's working for me, then hey, try something else. If you don't change, you won't see change. You've got to start somewhere. And here's a great tip for the mindset. Do 3 small things a day. If you do 3 small goals towards your main goal every day, okay? 3 small goals towards that main goal every day. That is 1,096 goals a year. Honey, you've achieved your goal by now, your main goal, and above and beyond that. 3 small goals towards your main goal every day. So that's mindset. That's the first part. Dude, it's funny that you say that because I have this thing called $1 Million Morning. Wake up with the gratitude of $1 million. Focus on your health, get your blood pumping. Write down 3 to 5 people that you want to reach out to thank or appreciate, because relationships are the new economy. 5 that drive, which is basically 5 things that drive revenue, and then seek new information, which is ultimately what you just said. You have to get that new information in your head every single day. And then the sacred 6 I do, rack up the wins, is one of them. People don't understand the value of momentum. If you just do what she just told you and just set 3 small goals towards a goal, even 3 things that you achieve every single day, you start racking up the wins in your mind. And then you start to sit up a little taller, and you start to feel a little more deserving, and you start to realize, holy shit, you know, I should be doing more. I should be having more. And that starts to get you in this attitude and this momentum. And that momentum is what carries you to what you just said. Dude, see what I'm talking about? Like, she says it differently, folks, but it's the same shit I'm saying. And how are 2 successful people saying the same shit? Well, it's not just her and I. Bring on anybody successful, and I'll bet you anything, some of their daily habits are exactly the same. They just may say them a little bit differently. What do you feel about habits? How important are your habits?
You know what? Habits are everything. It takes 21 days to form a small habit. It takes 66 days to form a larger habit. So take brushing your teeth, for example. When you brush your teeth, let's say you use your right hand, okay? When you use your right hand, or whatever hand you use, when you swap and you try and do it with the other one, it feels a bit weird, don't it? And you know, when you do that, that's because your brain, your mind, again, back to this little guy, this amazing, powerful thing in your body, your brain, it likes familiarity. So your body, you like familiarity. Kids, they like the same food. You know, if you ask them the next day, what do you want to eat? They're probably going to say the same thing when they're really young, 0 to 7 in particular, in that age group. We like familiarity. So change is difficult. And then creating a habit, therefore, is the same thing. So if you want to learn a habit, you could start by brushing your teeth with your other hand, because it feels weird, and you got to do it every day until it doesn't feel weird anymore and you're ambidextrous. And all of a sudden, you can brush it with either hand. It feels identical. Okay. So that's a smaller habit. So every day you've got to do habits which serve your purpose. So from the minute you rise, like Brad said, I mean, that is fucking gold dust. When you wake up and you feel amazing, and it's like you've done 10 million already, you're worthy of that, you've already achieved it, you'll start your day in a whole different way. That's a habit. If you start waking up thinking that way, you're building a habit. So there's your mindset. Okay, you're getting a mindset going. Remember what I was saying earlier about mindset, skill set, environment? Your skill set is then practicing your craft, honing in on that craft. So habits, again, fall into that. What are you practicing every day? Are you studying, reading, learning, listening every day? Because when you talk, you don't learn. When you listen, like here now in this podcast, you're learning. You're learning because somebody is showing you something you may know, or you're reinforcing that knowledge. You're repeating that knowledge. Even better when you repeat it and you watch it 2-3 times, because that really goes into your mind. Okay. Or you're learning something new. So habits, you want to do things that serve you every day. You want to knock out the bad things that are the shit habits that don't serve you, and recognize what they are. I've got a great exercise, Brad. Do you want me to tell them about what they can do for finding habits?
Indeed.
Amazing. So every morning when you get up for the next day, 3 days, let's try this. You're going to write down as you go along, from the minute you wake up until you go to bed. What did you do in that day? So you're going to get up, you ate breakfast, 15 minutes, put the time next to it. And then you went and spoke to your mom. You had a bit of a rant about something. Did that serve you? Anyway, that's a separate story. You write the time on it, and then you do something else. What did you do? You did this, you did that. Write everything down on there. Your yoga, your fight with your wife, whatever it might be, you write it all down. Okay. And you put the time next to it. And then at the end of the day, you go through and you mark them out of 10, just quickly to yourself. Did that serve you or not? Which things served you? And if anything is under an 8 out of 10, that's a bad habit that needs to be knocked out of your agenda, because that is not taking you closer towards abundance, towards achieving, towards success, towards anything that you want to attract good into your life. Those things that are under an 8 are not serving you at all. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you want to hit the floor running by looking at things that are over an 8 out of 10.
Hey, when you're on Clubhouse, you sound just like you sound right now. I'm just wondering, because no one can see, are you doing all the things you're doing right now?
Babe, I'm like smashing against my thing. I'm feeling like I should open this thing. I'm like, I need more space. You should see me on Clubhouse. I'm pacing around a room. I'm literally no different to when I'm on stage speaking. I'm like across the stage, this way, that way, jacket off. Sometimes I'm probably not wearing enough. I'm just so hot and like, let's go. I just wake up feeling alive. When I speak to somebody, I'm the same. You know, when I'm on the phone to someone, I'm the same. I'm just like wildly stepping out here, making moves.
Now, you also said, okay, mindset, which for everybody not paying attention, start getting new information, new positive information, start learning, start thinking, start growing, start developing. And then that will start your mindset. And then just keep focusing on positive shit. And then the next one was skill sets. I have 5 I call kill sets, because if you want to kill it in life, these are the 5 you need. But when you say skill sets, tell us what you mean.
When I say skill set, okay, and I love yours. Yours, when you came to my podcast, I literally was like, this guy is a fucking genius. Like yours will change somebody's life. I love that shit. You know, that's what's so cool about this. So skill set, let me explain it for anyone that wants to know more about what that is. That is the thing that you can monetize. That's the thing that you're good at. That's the thing that, you know, you want to improve on. Look at Einstein, look at Da Vinci, look at all these incredible minds of this earth who have achieved great things. They sat in a secluded place away from the world and they focused on their craft. They sat in their own space and they focused on their craft. And when they focus on that, and when they absorb their time and energy into that, and they sit in that place, of course, it improves, it gets bigger. So now their skills are more valuable. So you want to be practicing your craft every single day. You want to be honing in on that, looking at how you can monetize your skills that you are good at. So that's your skill set.
What skill sets do you think are the most important in this day and age?
Depending on if you're an entrepreneur or if you're somebody who's, working for somebody, they can be slightly different. But communication, your skill set, your communication, how are you communicating with people? Your ability to sell, ABC, always be closing. That's another one.
Right now, you just knocked out 2 of my kill sets.
Did I?
Keep going.
Oh my God, man, I love this. I'm feeling like me and you need to do a program together. I feel like my audience is going to love your stuff too.
People are going to think I'm just saying, yeah, those are mine too. No. I could write down my 5 and when you're done, I'll hold them up. But those are 2 of them. Keep going.
Boom. I'm loving it. Okay. Communication, always be selling. I would say, I'm going to give you 3 of my favorites. My third one would be knocking on doors. How many doors are you knocking on every day? And I don't mean physical doors. A door right now could be a DM. A door right now could be an email. How many people are you knocking on the doors of every single day? When I get up, I'm like, I want 5 of my people that I want to communicate with today, whatever it might be, to get in touch with me. But that doesn't mean I only contact 5. That means I contact 50 to get 5 secured that day. Those are my 3.
More hands you shake, more money you make.
Boom. Is that on yours too?
No. Although okay. I do preach that quite often in my closer school. My 5, number 1 is the ability to sell, influence, and persuade. You have to have the ability to sell. Doesn't matter if you're in sales, because technically everyone is in sales. But the difference between a good salesperson and a bad one is the bad ones don't know they're doing it. So they never practice. They never master their craft, as you say. You know what I'm saying? They never master their craft.
Master your craft.
Because they don't understand that that's what they're doing. And we sell in life. We sell everybody. We sell our kids. We sell our spouses. We sell ourselves. And if you suck at sales, persuasion, and influence, you're not going to have as easy of a time. So number 1, kill set. I call them kill sets because if you want to kill it in life, all you need are 5 kill sets. There's a million skill sets. Kill sets, number 1, sell, influence, persuade. Number 2, personal branding. If you get really good at building a personal brand and you understand how to build a personal brand, dude, now in this day and age, it's night and day. When I started doing my personal brand, I didn't realize I was building one, but then I started realizing it, started practicing it, started understanding, oh, this is a thing. This is a skill set. So I started building a personal brand. Right now, if my whole company portfolio. I have a portfolio of companies that do pretty well, but if they all crashed and went away, just my own personal brand could make me 7 figures a year. And it doesn't take that long to build. You just have to know how to do it. So personal branding, communication. Okay. Communication is key. Matter of fact, I went and registered the domain Keymunication because it's so key, right? It's Keymunication.
That was amazing.
Yeah. And then, let me think. So sales, hold on. Let me think. Now you just jarred my head. Okay. The 5 kill sets: sales, personal or influence, persuasion, personal branding, communication. The frick are my other 2? Hold on.
That's what happened to me. I was stuck on but I remember mine now.
Sales. Maybe I don't try to put them in order. Just sales, personal branding, communication. There's 2 more. Personal branding. Oh, marketing. Understand how to market is amazing. If I can't make money for myself, if I don't have a product, but I am very good at marketing, dude, I can work for anybody. Anybody in the world needs to know good at marketing. Oh, and then the 5th one, social media. That's a skill set, dude. You got to understand social media. And by the way, social media is instrumental in building a personal brand. So sales, persuasion, and influence. Communicate. I don't know why I'm taking them out of order because I can't. I guess I got sales, persuasion, and influence, communication, personal branding, marketing, and social media. Those are my 5.
Love that.
And I'll tell you I'll tell you right now, you mastered those alone. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, what you do, what your background is. If you master those 5 skill sets, dude, you can literally build a 7-figure income on accident. There are people that will hire you in an instant. If I can, get on social media and reach the masses, which is what I mean by mastering social media, and understand the value of social media. I can work for myself or someone else. If I'm an excellent communicator, I can work for myself or someone else. If I'm an excellent salesperson, I can work for myself or someone else. If I understand personal branding, I can work for myself or someone else. You cannot fail with those 5 skill sets, which is why I call them kill sets.
Kill sets. I love that.
If you want to kill it, man, just master those 5. And if we would have kept talking, I didn't even bring up the 5, you would have probably named them all. And that's the crazy part is like, folks, this isn't rocket science. This isn't freaking mystery time. The first thing that stops people is their mindset. They don't believe it's real. They'll sit there and listen to us. You'll see hate on our freaking post. Go read the comments right now and you'll start to read dipshits talking about, at the end of the day, that's their mindset. That's their pessimism. Folks, quit disbelieving and start disproving. That's what I say, Natasha. I say, listen, don't believe me, just disprove me. Because as I tell people shit in my closer school, I say to them as an exercise, now go out the next week and disprove everything I just told you. Because when you go out to disprove me, I'll bet you 99% of the time you're going to prove what I said correct. You're going to convince yourself, which is selling yourself. Yep. And boom, you just emblazoned a new perspective, because now you realize, holy shit. I told someone, you want to make more money? They're like, oh, I'd love to. I said, okay, listen, if you want to make more, do more. They're like, well, duh. Well, then what's the problem? They're like, well, what do you mean? Okay, like, for example, if you go out and talk to 10 people and you sell something and made $800, talk to 20 people. You probably would have sold more. So you got to do more. More hands you shake, more money you make. That's one of your skill sets. You said shake more hands, knock on more doors, introduce yourself. Why do you think people are so afraid of introducing themselves?
It comes from a place of lack of confidence, not feeling they're going to get a yes, being scared of a no. You can't be scared of a no. You can't be scared of someone saying to you, no, I'm not going to give you the pay rise. If you don't ask, you don't get, right? You've got to go out there with fierce confidence, with fearlessness, and be empowered to know what you're selling is amazing. And just know that you are offering, and this, you got to make sure you're offering more value than what you're asking for. Always offer more value. And if you're coming from that place, then you won't be scared. You won't be scared, but you got to ask. You got to Get on your feet, grow that confidence, grow some cojones, grow some balls, man. Just be like, yes, I can do this. And then find an angle where you stand out. Find a niche market where you stand out. Why are you different? What's your USP, your unique selling point? Find that. Be that. Do that.
And then the last one you mentioned was environment.
Mm-hmm.
Explain.
Environment. I love this one. Who are you hanging out with? What are you doing in your time? Where are you spending it? Where is there order in your life and where is there chaos? So environment could be looking at the 5 people you hang out with the most. When you look at the 5 people that you hang out with the most, you'll start to see whether or not that's good for you or bad for you. Have a look at your recent texts on your phone, who's in there. Have a look at your WhatsApps, who's in there. Have a look at your calls, who's in there. Who are the most recent people? And here's the next part to look at. You are an average of your 5 friends that you hang out with the most, the 5 people that you surround yourself with. Now, you don't have to have met them. You don't have to have met them. When I talk about my 5 pillars of achieving your goals, my 5 pillars of manifesting, if you want, manifesting your desires, your goals, okay, using a mix of different things. My 4th pillar is expansion, expanding your vision. And that's exactly what this is, environment. You can expand your vision through people. You can achieve your goals faster through spending time around people who have already achieved what you want. This is environment. So if you are surrounding yourself with Brad Lee, you're in one of his programs, you're learning from his school on how to get rich fast. Because he's already done it. He's already achieved it. Of course, you are going to attract your goals faster. You are going to get to that faster because you are an average of the 5 people you hang out with. So if you're hanging out with losers, you are going to degrade yourself. And then you are going to be a lower version of yourself because you're an average of them. So your average is even lower. If you're hanging out with 5 amazing people that do serve you, you may not have met them, but you're spending a lot of time in their programs. You're spending a lot of time up close and personal with them. Then you become an average of that. When I started my journey 15 years ago, when I was, you know how it all started for me? Well, there's many things to that. But when I started and I was studying and I was reading and learning around this stuff that I love around mindset, I was looking at people like John Assaraf, like Dr. DeMartini, who all in The Secret in this one book. I now work with John Assaraf. So he went from being a mentor when I was in my late teens to being somebody that is a friend of mine and we work together. Does that make sense? You can also do that. Your expander might become your best friend. Brad Lee might be someone that you're looking at like, oh, I would do anything to be a friend of his. You never know where you can go when you invest that time into being in their personal space. Because what's better than being in their personal space? And choose your 5 people wisely. It can be people you've met as well. That's a good one, obviously, if you've met them. So if you've been in person with them, even better, because you are understanding, back to this thing on studying, their thought process, their mindset. You're getting that opportunity to be be around their presence and understand how they think and how they have already achieved what you want to achieve. They are expanders. So your environment is so key. What are you doing every day? Who are you spending time with? Who are you spending time socializing with? You know, I don't know about you, Brad, but the route to success for me was a lonely path. It was a lonely, lonely path. And, you know, when I got there, I guess you're always like a constant moving in process, et cetera. But as I went along that path, I realized I had so many people I had to get rid of. I had so many friends that I had to let go of. And the reason for that is because they didn't serve me anymore.
What if someone said, what if someone said, well, that's a little bit freaking selfish. They didn't serve you. Why does everyone have to serve you?
So it don't mean serve me and like, you know, bring me drinks or like help me with something. It means serve my purpose, serve the mission that I'm on. If your mission is to change your environment and get out of the situation you're living in, the state, the environment, whatever it is you want to change, then you need people that are supportive of you, that are like, I believe in you. I want to support you. I want to see you go to the next level. They're not dragging you down, draining you of your energy, victim mentality, suctioning you like a vampire. Those people you got to let go of.
What about people that just hang around their families? They're just family people.
I love that. You're around, I'm a big family girl, but I had to distance two of my sisters and love them at arm's distance. Doesn't mean you stop speaking to them. It just means you can see them less for the time that you're going through your growth, that you're going through this next stage or season that you're going through. And so I would love them from afar and tell them, I've got to love you from afar, sis, for a while, just because I feel that the energy between us is not serving my mission at the moment. And every time I speak to you, I go back in time almost to when we were kids, and so do you. Yeah. And we behave like we were in our mom's house, and it just doesn't serve my mission. No matter how many times we try, you always attack me for things. It doesn't leave me feeling elevated. Here's the question to ask. Doesn't matter if it's family, doesn't matter if it's friends. Does the person who you are spending time with leave you feeling elevated? And do you leave them feeling elevated? Because if you don't leave them feeling elevated and they don't leave you feeling elevated, that's not somebody that you want to spend masses of time with. There are, of course, family members and people who you've got to be there for because of X, Y, and Z reason, but you can love people from afar. You can step back and tell them, I'm here for you. But in order for you to grow, you need to take a step on your own self right now.
Yeah. So for the things I'm bringing up, just wanted to hear your answer. Number one, when someone says, it didn't serve me. I hear people say, well, dude, that's a little bit arrogant. That's a little bit selfish. That's a little bit blah, blah, blah. Listen, let me tell folks something. You should be the most important person in your life. Period. End of story. If you think that is incorrect, that's probably why you're struggling. Folks, it doesn't make you a bad person because you believe that you should be the most important person in your life, because if you don't love you and feel that you're worth anything, you're not going to be good for anybody else either. So again, remember, when it's like, it didn't serve me, you should be the most important person in your life, and you should think that as well. If you don't, you got some work to do on yourself, just FYI. Number two, when I say hang around, well, I hang around my family. I'm at work all the time. I hang around my employees, my team. They're working for me, so that means I'm never going to grow because I'm hanging around them. Folks, you don't have to physically be around these people to consider it hanging. When I wake up in the morning, I'm listening to a podcast or reading a book every single day. So I'm hanging around Zig Ziglar. I'm hanging around John Maxwell. I'm hanging around John Assaraf. I'm hanging around, Malcolm Gladwell. I'm hanging around authors that are dead. I'm spending time with people. I'm spending time with billionaires every single day. I'm spending time with multimillionaires, thought leaders every single day, even though I've never been out of my house. And that's not literal. I'm giving you an example. You don't have to hang around them. So when people say, it's the 5 people you hang around, they're not meaning physically. They're meaning, who are you focused on? Who are you listening to? That's it. So if you have sisters or brothers or parents talking shit, they don't believe you, they're saying negative shit, discouraging shit, just shut them down and start focusing on, hey, I'm going to listen to this book. I'm going to listen to this podcast. I'm going to listen to Natasha, for Pete's sake.
I love that. Amen. Look, you've got to tune in to what serves you. Now you understand the word serve. Do you get it? You've got to be a bit selfish in this. Like I said, it's a lonely road sometimes to success, but just focus on what makes you feel good every day. Plant seeds into your garden of love, of joy, of compassion, of excitement, of things that feel good. Now you're like, what do you mean by that? Do activities that make you feel one of these things that you want to plant into your garden. Your garden is your mind. Your garden is a mind. Okay. It's the same. Your mind is the garden. Same thing. You're going to plant seeds. You're going to watch them grow. So what seeds are you going to plant in your garden? Because I'm telling you now, if you are listening to this and you are not writing notes, you are not learning. If you are not planting seeds into your garden that are going to serve you later, and you're planting seeds of resentment, of anger, of pain, of he said, she said, bullshit that doesn't serve you, do you want to imagine what that's going to grow into? Because the same way when you plant a seed and it grows into a beautiful tulip or a beautiful flower, a rose, the same way you plant a seed, a little oak tree, from the acorn comes the oak. Can you imagine from that tiny little acorn comes an oak tree? That is no different. It doesn't matter if it's negative or positivity. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It still grows into an oak tree. So You want to plant those seeds of good things, because if you plant shit, it's just going to grow shit. Plant something good, plant something that feels good. So now you got to do activities that serve those. What makes you feel joyous? Well, I don't know. You tell me what makes you feel joyous, because what makes me feel joyous every day is waking up smiling. It's waking up doing yoga. It's waking up doing Pilates or whatever the fuck I want to do. Might not be Pilates, actually. It's probably more like Qigong, but doing something that feels good. You've got to do something that feels good for you. Hug your kids, play with your animals, your dog, do things, go for walks with them. Whatever serves you and makes you feel good. If you can do those things every day, you are planting seeds of the right things into your garden, and they will flourish. They will grow. The grass is green where you water it, baby. So water it in a good place.
Yeah, and let me tell you something about seeds. Listen, I've never, and anyone on earth will probably attest to this being true, even the naysayers and the haters. You'll never plant a seed and get something else. Meaning, if I plant corn, I'm going to get corn. If I plant frickin' carrots, I'm going to get carrots. If I plant frickin' whatever, it's coming. We don't plant shit and then wait to see what happens. We plant shit and watch that shit grow. So if you're planting shit seeds, you know you're going to get shit. So figure out what seeds are you planting and start planting the seeds you're looking for. Here's a big thing. A lot of people don't know what they're looking for. They're not specific enough. They don't visualize it. They're not thinking about it. They're not focusing on it. So all they're doing is they're focusing on the things they wish they had, and they're focusing on the problems and the whys they don't have them, rather than looking for the solutions to get them. The visualization studies that are out there in the world prove that visualization works. There was a couple studies out there where, guy was in a prison camp for a long time, just kept visualizing shooting the round of golf when he got out. So one of the things that kept him sane is he just kept visualizing this, shooting this round of golf. That guy got out of the prison camp and literally went and shot a round of golf and shot the best game he's ever shot. He hadn't shot golf in like 12 years. Everyone could not believe how good he was for just getting back into society. They couldn't believe it. He said, I've been playing that round of golf in my head for fucking 12 years. Wow. Okay, they had basketball teams, 3 of them. One practice, one think about practicing, visualizing practicing, and one not practice at all. The basketball team that practiced improved 24%. The one that visualized it improved 23%. And the one that didn't practice didn't improve at all. So visualization works, folks. My question is, what are you visualizing? Problems? You focusing on issues, or are you focusing on solutions? Mm-hmm. Think about that. Now, Natasha, you help people obviously on social media. So that's one of those kill sets. You help people with laws of attraction, mindset, gratitude, things of this nature. What is it you're doing on Clubhouse?
So I love Clubhouse. On Clubhouse, I host this room every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, and it is a powerful space called the Law of Attraction Secrets. And we have different cool thought leaders and experts and, people like you who are just like high achievers into the room. And we all share knowledge and sort of do a back and forth, a little bit like a podcast kind of thing, live on there. We do it for sometimes 2 hours. When we go for 4 hours, we have around 20 to 30,000 people through the room across the 4 hours. So it's a real special space, and it's like a real powerful energy, and you can feel it. It's just something, it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a ceremony, but without the dogma and religion. It's like a powerful space of not just the law of attraction stuff, it's the secrets behind it. So the neuroscience behind it, and the experts who have done particular things to prove it or disprove it in a good way, to show you, here, try this, use this, and loads of tangible tasks and steps. Yeah, you got to come on there, man. I think you should come on there when we put out our podcasts.
I will, but you have to have fair warning. I tell the truth. I say what I think, regardless if I agree. I had one guy want me in his room for like months and months and months and months. So I said, okay, I'll come into your room. So I came into his room, and he was sitting there saying shit I didn't agree with. And so he asked, well, right, Brad? And I'm like, well, I disagree. And so we sat there and had a little conversation. And afterwards, he's like, dude, why the fuck were you blowing me up like that? And I said, dude, because you were talking shit.
No, but I love that, man. That's what it's about. Like I will only go to people who I believe have got something of expertise to say. And if they don't, then I'll let people know. So this person's going to talk about marketing, or this person's in credit. They're going to speak on their area of expertise, and this is why they're an expert. So I love that. So yeah, come in.
I'd be safe in your room because I can tell we think alike and we believe the same shit. There's just so many people that want to talk shit about laws of attraction. I don't understand, because like so many different people that are successful are telling you exactly how to do it. But what people miss with the laws of attraction, I believe, is the energy. It's the emotion. There's no emotion in what they're doing. They're sitting there thinking, I want a Lamborghini. I want a Lamborghini. But they don't feel the Lamborghini. They don't feel like they deserve it. Their emotion is missing. And I think that's the magic freaking ingredients that makes the shit work. It's the emotion, the vibration, whatever you want to call it. I hear a lot of people say, the universe, what's the universe? Is it God? Some people say, well, that sounds like stupid. God's everything. Guys, when people say universe, God, what they're saying is the maker, the creator, the upper echelon that you're not looking at. Because your mind, if you ask me, I don't think it's necessarily your body. Your mind isn't part of your body. If that's the truth, well, how much does it weigh? How much does your mind weigh, Natasha?
Well, exactly nothing, because it's the brain, and the mind's, where is the mind?
Well, is it the brain? Because the brain you can take out and you can squish it. What temperature is your mind? People realize, well, there is no physical mind. And doctors, by the way, will tell you there is no physical mind. Okay, so what are you saying? Well, the mind, which everyone agrees exists, and it clearly does. Some people have lost their mind, but that's beside the point. It doesn't weigh anything. It doesn't have a temperature. You don't know what size it is, so it's not physical. So then guess what, folks? If the mind, which every scientific expert would agree is not a physical thing, but yet it exists, well, then that proves that there is a freaking world that's not physical. Because where is your mind? If it's not in your head, and it's not in your head, dude, it's your mind. And to me, the mind is the collective. It is the universal intelligence. And I believe everybody has every answer they could ever want in that universal intelligence if they learn how to tap into it.
God, I love that. You know what, was it with you I was discussing this? When somebody says, whose body is that? Whose body is that, Brad? And you say, what are you going to say? Whose body is that?
Mine.
Right. Who? So someone, something, some part of you, your soul, your mind, as we're talking about, is saying, mine. There is something inside of you that body is encasing. Do you get it? It's mine. So mine is who? The person inside of you, the soul, the mind. There is something greater than us. You can call it what you want, the God particles, the this, but the mind is the most powerful thing we have. I would say, you could put me in a jungle and I'll come out wearing a suit. You can take everything from me. And I've gone from abundant to broke, bankrupt, and back to abundant again, where I am now, because you can take everything from me. But the one thing you can't take from me is my mind.
Can I take that house?
I'll get it back again, sure.
All right, well, then you and your husband just give me that one. I don't even know. I can't, people are going to say that's Photoshopped. It's like, that looks like an unbelievable location. What town is that in? Is that a lake?
No, that's actually the ocean. So this here is the ocean, and there's an island in the middle. We call it Dinosaur Island. It's not that, obviously. It's in North Vancouver, in a place called, I'll just leave it at that, not because it's very small, the where we are. It's somewhere in North Vancouver.
How'd you find it?
After. Huh?
How did you find that spot?
I know. So this is a mad story. My husband was coming to this house.
Is your husband richer than shit?
He's done good. He works very hard using what we preach. And I'm like, yeah. And he just, he just created an empire. So basically,
Folks, if you guys go to YouTube and check out what I'm looking at, that ain't cheap. Like, that ain't cheap, period. That you can't have a view like that. That's a $1 billion view.
so basically he was coming here every day for barbecue, not every day, like a lot, to this friend's house. And one day his friend said, oh, I'm going to sell my house. I'm moving to Hawaii. And we just met, right? So we only met this year, like, a few months ago. And that's when we, got connected, got married. This is like a whirlwind, etc. Anyway, that's a whole other story.
Did you attract him with laws of attraction?
Oh, I did.
Did he attract you, if you ask him?
Everything. Yeah, he does. He talks about it. It's in the New York Times, our wedding, because of the story of how powerful it is. They came and covered our wedding a couple of months ago, and it's just come out literally 3 Sundays ago. And so when they came, the question they asked, what did you do? This is literally it. He was on Clubhouse. I was on Clubhouse. We met on Clubhouse, and then we decided in this like place, 3 weeks before I'd gone on, I said, I'm ready to meet the one. I'm actually ready. I've been a single mom for like almost 5 years. I've just had mayhem. It's so stressful. And I've had crazy situation after crazy situation. I've been broke, homeless. Like I've hit rock bottom 5 years ago. And I was like, I've got to come out of, I came out of that, and I built where I am now all alone. I built what I'm doing. And then I was like, the one thing I don't have is an amazing partner to share this with. I'm going to manifest him. So I said to myself, okay, I'm ready. And then I wrote down a list of 100 things that I wanted in a man, including the home I wanted to live in with the view of the ocean. I didn't know where I wanted to be in the world. Specifically, I should have been more specific on that, but I didn't mind, because I'm open to be wherever. And he did the same, not with writing things down. He just was thinking to himself, I'm ready to stop being a playboy. I'm actually ready to be a man and like actually, commit to someone and not mix up my sexual energy, because that's just so distracting. And I know how much I can achieve with one. Anyway, he put that to bed, didn't think about it. And in the midst of this, then we're on Clubhouse, we met, and then it just went wild. It was like love at first voice.
Was he in the UK?
No, he's from Vancouver. So we'd never met.
So how did you guys end up saying, let's get together?
I love your accent. So I said to him, look, we've been speaking for 2 months. You either fly and see me, or this isn't real. Like I feel like we're together. So let's go. And then he got on a plane, flew to London. We committed to each other. We knew that was it. He flew back. He came back again, collected me, took me back to Vancouver.
Collected you. I like that. Collected you.
Yeah, like a parcel, collected me and then took me back. And then we came here. He said, this is my friend's house. Let's stay here. It's empty. He's selling it in here where we are now. And I said, let's put an offer in. And he was like, yeah, let's go. So we called him and we said, this is what we're willing to pay. And the guy was like, okay, fair enough. That's what I wanted. And, that it was all part of the journey. He asked to marry me. We got engaged. We got married 3 days later. We bought the house. And then, yeah, that was it. The rest is history.
And it's almost like your old name is Grano. His is Graziano, which is almost like just putting a thank you right in the middle of yours.
Damn, I'm so glad you know that, man. Isn't it beautiful? And ZIA means the light in Arabic, apparently. So it's a powerful, you either put thank you in it, you put the light in it, you sandwich it together. Here's another thing, part of what I wanted. When you're specific about what you want, you'd be so remarked at how incredible the universe is with delivering right on cue. I said, I don't want to change my name when I get married to something. I want to change it for whoever I marry, but I actually don't want to change it to something like, Grano to Elkin, because that's such a big change. Yeah.
That's Garfunkel.
Like, yeah, Garfunkel. You know what I mean? Like, people are not going to know who Natasha Garfunkel is. So they're basically I want them to be able to type in when they're looking for me online, Natasha Gra, and then it comes up. So I was like, there's got to be somebody with a surname with the same thing. Anyway, it was unbelievable when I realized, oh, wow. So that wish that I wanted 2 years ago, and I said, when I meet the one eventually, when I'm ready, and then here he is. I mean, the surname is perfect. So that's why I don't feel like, no one gets confused. It's like they'll always find me because there isn't really many Natasha Gra when you type that in online. That's just kind of me. And like, I don't know, that's it really. I'm the only one. So yeah, it was.
Well, he's just lucky you didn't say Gra, no. You said Gra, yes.
Yes, I know. Oh, I'm such a romantic. I do love. And I do think when you're ready to actually commit to that, and I look after a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of men who have everything in their life, but they can't find love, or they're like, struggling in that area where they're just not ready to commit, and they don't understand why they should. And it's about, and there's a great book called Superior Man. I don't know if you know it. This book really teaches men why stepping into your superiority, your higher self, and just really putting your sexual energy into one woman is so powerful. I mean, look at you. You're married. You're incredible. Look at how much you've achieved. I think when humans focus on one other human and they put all their energy into their business, they don't need to, and they're one person they're married to, they don't need to worry about going out every night and wasting energy and looking for this one and spending money that they don't want to spend on a random date to see if it goes somewhere. It's so much time. It's so difficult. So if you can find that one faster and get to that end goal faster, why not?
Yeah, well, I attracted her. I think she just got lucky. She didn't do the law of attraction. I did. But, I always say, I attracted her on purpose, but she just got lucky.
I love that. She got lucky. Well, you are both beautiful people. So that's incredible. But you know what? Without knowing, she did do the law of attraction. Without knowing, we are all practicing the law of attraction. Doesn't matter whether you believe in it. Doesn't matter whether you think you're practicing it. It's happening around you.
Hey, that's the best. That's the best point ever, right there. And let me tell you guys something, folks. Law of attraction makes people think, riches, abundance. Dude, you can attract shit just as easily as you can attract abundance. 100%. And you're doing it whether you think you are or not. So it works whether you believe it or not. You might as well figure out more about it. I would recommend you go follow Natasha at Natasha Grano for now. I don't know if you're ever going to change that. Grano on Instagram. I would go check out her website, natashagrano.net. Pick up her book, The Action Plan. Check her out on Clubhouse and frickin' end up stalking her so you can frickin' learn how to ultimately leverage what she knows to go get your dream life. Because, Natasha, it looks like you and your husband are living it.
You know what? When you tap into the law of abundance, the law of attraction, you just tap into what the universe is, and you get in alignment with it, with this energetic field around you, and you start using it for your advantage. You can be and do anything you want. And as long as you always do things that serve other people. So when you want something in your life, as long as you want it so that it betters somebody else's life, then the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, the higher intelligence will bring that into your existence faster and easier through the path of least resistance, because you are doing something to better serve others. Make sure you are always doing something that serves others. Whatever you want is so that it betters not only you, but at least two other people. And if you can, it benefits hundreds of people, if not thousands and millions of people at some point, because that is true manifestation. That is true abundance. Wanting something for the betterment of others. Thereafter, you are gone. When you are no longer here, what you wanted, what you have achieved is serving humanity. That is powerful.
Boom. Now, top 3 books. If you had to give your kid 3 books and that's all they could have to live the life that you feel they deserve, what are the top 3 books you'd recommend?
The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Yep. I love that. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. And then probably my book, The Action Plan, because it's a shorter version of The Secret. So it's just a 1-hour read. Go read it and make sure your kids read it. Because a lot of kids do read this stuff. A lot of kids, a quick read like that, that's kind of the target audience, really, is like someone who just doesn't have that time, or somebody who's not got a great concentration, has been born through the era of social media. Like I was literally born through social media. That was where it all came from for me. So it's a great book. So it's only an hour.
So The Power of Subconscious Mind, you said?
The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, and my book, The Action Plan.
I usually don't let people include their own book because that's obvious. So give me one more.
I love that. Then, as I said, yeah, the secret for sure. It's a great place to start on the law of attraction. Like it's such a great place to start. And it really is so beautiful. I think 500 million people have bought the book now. So it's really doing big numbers.
You can also watch that on Netflix. I saw the other day.
Mm-hmm. You can watch it in The Secret. I know. It's such a great movie. It's really cool. And it's nice to just understand this law is happening around you. This thing is going on, whether you know it or not. So like Brad said, learn more about it. Get in tune with it. Be like, okay, this is what's up. Okay, you know what? I've got loads of power in my life, or I've got loads of abundance in this area, but I don't have this. So go and play and have fun with it. Be like a child. Be excited. Explore every day. Just like, okay, I'm going to try something towards it. Because what you're doing now, if it's not in your life, it's not working. You got to do what you don't want to do to get something new.
Well, listen, I only asked you for an hour. You've given me more than that. I appreciate it. As they say in Clubhouse, thank you for holding space for me.
I love that. Thank you for holding space for me too, Brad. You're amazing. Your podcast is dope. It's the best. I have to say, it's, I get it why everyone talks about it online. It is just the best and coolest spot to learn something new that will change your life for the better.
Well, I appreciate your time. Anytime you come to Vegas, obviously, I'd love to get together with you. Swing by the studio. If I'm ever in Vancouver or London, I will look you guys up, and I appreciate your time today. Folks, as always, share this out. Go rate the podcast so more people can hear it. And like every time, keep it real.
Dropping bombs with the real Bradley. Subscribe now.